Welcome to Master of the Game. I am Juce. This is Paula. And today's word is Calamity. So let's get started. All right, so today we're talking about Calamity. You might be wondering why I went Calamity. So, I am a big fan of Final Fantasy VII. And in it, they always refer to the Calamity in the sky, which is a meteor that's coming to hit the planet.
Okay.
And I know you haven't played it, and I want you to play the game someday. So I don't want to ruin it for you. But it just kind of sticks with me. So I'm not necessarily going to talk about a Calamity necessarily, but I'm going to talk about like how my gaming has been inspired by Final Fantasy VII.
Cool.
So in Final Fantasy VII, you start as a lowly ex-soldier. So think like ex-army frontline military guy.
Okay.
Maybe a guard, but nothing
But
special.
you were like a prince or something.
No, that's the Final Fantasy for whatever, XV 15.
Oh, okay.
That was the one I played. No,
Cool.
Final Fantasy
Never mind.
VII is
Keep
the old
going.
one that I played.
Okay, cool.
So anyway, so you start as an ex-soldier, which it could vary. You could be like special ops, which is kind of what the soldier is. However, you find out you really weren't a soldier. And his memory's all messed up somehow.
No way.
Yeah, you find out pretty quick, though.
Okay.
Like, yeah. So anyways, so it kind of rings true for how I envision D&D. You start off as practically nobody.
Right? Yeah.
A zero. Mm-hmm. And you can become a hero or a demigod by the end of a campaign.
0 to hero.
And in this game, because of the way the leveling up, you can get up to a level 99 if you want to level grind.
Right.
And you can beat the game at like level 40 something if you really want.
Okay.
I mean, like you just get your magic up a little bit
But
and stuff.
you can just keep going just for shit.
You can level grind before you do your final boss.
Okay.
It's really cool how they do it. And you get cool like vehicles and stuff. So anyways, but Final Fantasy VII is my all-time favorite game because of the story and things like this. And you got like great character development throughout the game. And there's like there's some very emotional moments in the game. It's the only game I've ever felt that way about. Like where I've like wanted to cry while playing it.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Where you were like, oh my gosh, no, I can't.
Oh yeah, you talk to like almost everybody who got into that game and played it. Almost all of them will say that there was a couple spots where they got a little emotional.
Okay, but like,
It's good storytelling.
How old were you when you were playing this game?
The first time I was 12.
So are we sure that it's not like a hormone thing?
Yes.
Yes.
I have no proof of
it's
that.
not?
There's just so many people, even people who are older than me, who played it.
Oh, okay.
Same kind of thing.
Okay.
It's
just checking.
and you have.
Because you're not really a like this makes me cry type of person.
I'm an emotional person. I am an emotional person.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
I
like,
bottle a lot of it up as an adult, but
usually, like if
oh,
you're
dude, I used to cry all the time like a big
about
baby.
Something,
It's a
usually,
calamity.
Like you're gonna be like angry about it. Like when we watched *Handmaid's Tale*, and you
I
were
get
like,
pissed about that.
"I'm so mad, I can't sleep."
Well, part of the problem is you start crying first every time we're watching a show with emotion, so I laugh at you. And that's how I cope with emotions now. I just laugh at you
okay.
for crying first.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah. Like when we were watching the other night, The Handmaid's Tale, there was that moment that, I don't remember what happened. There was something emotional. Don't ruin the show.
I don't want to ruin it. I can't tell you.
But you know what I'm talking about. Because you were crying like a baby.
Yeah.
And I looked and I was like, yes. Because if not, I would have shed a tear. That's just, and I've told you that before. That's how I operate. I'm totally emotional.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm a crier. But no, so anyway, so the 0 to hero thing. And now, when it comes to RPGs.
Road to hero.
Yes, that's what I
That's
think.
in the Hercules movie.
Oh, is it?
The cartoon.
I've only seen it.
Zero
Like
to hero. The ladies are dancing.
They're going to think we're drunk.
It's fine.
So, anyways, so when I play D&D, that's the kind of game I want. Or any RPG. I don't like, as a player, feeling stuck for too long. Like, I do milestone leveling. But I would be furious. Not furious. I would get bored if I played the same level especially in D&D, for like 10, 12 sessions.
Yeah, but that can happen when you get up there, though.
If you're using XP.
Yeah.
That's why I use Milestone. Okay. For me, it's about the story. And
what makes sense.
Yes. And so, like, oh, you guys just did this cool arc. Maybe you guys learn something, you level up. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that's how I like to do it. But I get... Like, if it doesn't escalate, ever, it just gets boring for me. Some characters, even him, my favorite one, I get tired of them if they don't progress. Because that's what I'm all about. I'm all about some kind of progression. Whether it's story, it could be story progression. It could be their own internal story. You know, it could be group progression.
Yeah.
Or it could be mechanics. And I love mechanics. I love, like, getting new abilities and new spells and stuff like that. That's why I love the front end of 5th edition. Like, it's meant to escalate really quick.
Yes.
I love that.
I think most editions have always been like that, where, it escalates really quick.
Some are kind of slow. And some, it depends on the class you play, because they have different experience tables.
That's stupid.
2nd edition had different experience tables.
Yeah, I know. That is stupid. I said it's stupid.
Yeah, I've never liked that.
I agree.
I like that. Now, the thing is, though, you need to start local. You need to start building yourself up in towns and things like that.
Yep.
But then by the end, I want to save the world, or save a huge region, not just a town.
Right.
Not just this dude's family. Like, I want to be the biggest hero this world's ever known, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've never played a game that far, but that's...
I want statues erected in my honor.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I think that'd be fun. And so that's the type of story I want to tell as a player when I'm playing. I think that's why I'm drawn to martial characters, because I envision them a little better that way, too.
Yeah.
So that you always ask why I like fighters and stuff like that so much, and I think that's why.
I think that it's more like your prerogative, like too, like if you were to you as a person, if you idolize somebody, it's usually somebody that has more like
the macho characteristics,
just like physical attributes that you like, sports and stuff like that and whatever. Whereas I think usually I'm more on the...
my favorite class is still a cleric. That is my actual favorite class because of Brasswick. It is. That's why I'm playing a cleric in Tomb of Annihilation, because clerics are awesome.
Oh yeah, you are playing cleric.
Yeah, I play clerics a lot. But I play them as frontline guys usually, even when they're healers.
So, this might not have a ton to do with Calamity.
Or nothing
at all. Your intro, Calamity.
Reading Rainbow. I don't know.
It sort of made me think of like, right? Like, an event.
Yes.
Right? Like a big event.
Yes.
Which makes me think of like big, loud noises. Like big things going on. Like, fuck the cricket. God, the stupid cricket. No, but big, loud, like, things going on.
Sure.
Right? Which brings me to your favorite spell of all time.
Entangle. No?
No.
Oh, Thaumaturgy.
Yes!
Or Prestidigitation.
Yes! Thaumaturgy.
Yes.
So, your favorite spell of all time. Why is that your favorite spell? I mean, like, just because it's so... Yeah, because
you can use it for so many things.
Diverse. Like, it has so many different, like, aspects to it. Like, hey, you can
I've used it in a lot of games for different things.
A loud noise, or you could distract somebody, or you could make it sound like this other thing's happening.
So, I always thought it was cool.
You know?
I thought it was cool. In Provokers, like, the first or second session, we were outside of an abandoned church when the bad guys were in there. Mm-hmm. And so, you know how, like, loud things are in an abandoned church, where it's all concrete. I did Thaumaturgy, and our DM allowed it to be kind of like a flashbang. Like, it was so loud in the church. So that was cool.
That's cool.
I used it, I think, for, like, messing with candlelight or something in a tavern in the first session of that. Mm-hmm. Like, I used it in, like, 3 or 4 different ways early on.
It is a really diverse
And I was like,
spell.
I can do a lot with this. And it doesn't have to have a mechanical advantage at all. There's nothing. There's no saving throws. There's no anything for it. You know, it's just a matter of this is what happens because of this.
Yeah.
And as a DM, you can add things to it. Like, okay, it's a Constitution save to see if their eardrums are blown. Or it's a Wisdom save to see if they think this is abnormal and something's up. Or, you know, you can do a lot of different things with it. So I just think the utility aspect of it is really cool. I think I even used it once to do, like, an illusion on my Dwarven character. No, I think that was something else. That may have been... I don't remember what spell that was. But there's just a lot of things you can do with it to make it cool. Think of, like, the elven girl from Lord of the Rings when she's, like... She gets all demon-like for, like, a second. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, whoa, that's, like...
Yeah,
it's like, oh, that's the scariest thing in this whole thing. And, like, that was, like, in my mind, that's, like, a thaumaturgy spell. Like, you know,
this thing happened.
Like you can do shit with it. It's a cool spell. So that's what I like about it. You can be creative with it. Yes,
right.
That's why it's one of my favorites.
I do like spells that do allow for flexibility. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, this could do this, or this can create like some sort of like. Even if it's just
magic missile is magic missile.
It's a minor, it's a minor illusion or something like that. It's like it can be a minor illusion of like a lot of different things.
Sure, but even minor illusion has limits. Thaumaturgy doesn't really say limits. It says this is what you do, and then as a player or a DM,
you can decide
your creativity is the only limit you have, really.
Right.
You know, I mean, there's things in it, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like
you're right, when you're casting magic missile,
minor illusion is this big of a space.
You can adjust
but you can't make noise.
What your magic missile looks like versus somebody else's magic missile. But once you establish what it does and what it looks like, you now have what it does and what it looks like every other time you cast it.
A lightning bolt does the same thing. Now, if you have creative players, you still need a DM to let you electrocute them because there's 3 of them in a pool or whatever. Yeah. But really, by the mechanic, it just does one thing. You know what I mean? It just zaps them or whatever.
Right.
You know? So that's kind of like my thought on it. Thaumaturgy, it's much more broad and...
flexible.
Yes. That's why I love it. Really didn't have to do with Calamity, but yes, I think that's why.
Well, I was just thinking,
I like it.
Oh, there's like a great Calamity. It makes me think of like, oh, there was a loud noise.
Sure.
There was something distracting.
You can do some cool shit to make it seem like a Calamity.
You're always like, you know, I'll be like looking at spells and you're
Thaumaturgy.
Like, Thaumaturgy.
Yep.
And I'm like, no, but like I was looking at something
But you try to be a creative player. And you've never used Thaumaturgy.
I know, that's true.
But you always say, no, I'm not taking it because you say it. You say it, so I'm not going to take it now. I'm not going to do it because you suggested it. And I do not want to take what you suggested because I am going to be a pain in the ass. And that's just how it is, okay? That was my mom. My mom does that.
Yeah, don't be putting us in the same boat, okay?
She watches some of these sometimes.
Does she really?
Yeah. She's liked them. Yeah, she follows my Facebook page.
Oh, that's so
yeah,
cute.
She's liked them.
She doesn't even like D&D.
No, she used to be anti-D&D.
I know.
So my uncle was in the Navy when I was like 4. And she took all of his first edition and second edition D&D stuff, which were in boxes, and threw them out because she had a nightmare that she was being choked by a demon. And then found out those books were there. So it had to be because D&D books were in the shed. Like, how does that make any sense? It doesn't.
Yeah.
Do you realize all the stuff in there that I would kill for right now?
Oh, I'm sure.
Like, why couldn't she have missed a box or two? Like, oh, actually, look what I found. Oh. I'm sure Jim wouldn't want them. My uncle hasn't played D&D in 30 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyways, so
that's cute, though.
Yeah, it is. It's not bad. She supports it. So this is Master the Game. I am Juice. This was Paula for RPG a Day. Game on.